Hello everyone, welcome back to my how-to videos, and this is how to set up your Bowflex for the decline and incline chest press and flies for decline and incline cables for Bowflex. First, before we get started, I'm going to do my stretches, then we're going to move on to proper breathing, proper form, and then muscle groups, and then get ready going. Alright you guys, let's get started with some stretches and we're going to get rolling with how to set this up. Alright, first one I'm going to do is the crossover stretch for your arms. Now I'm going to do this two different ways. One is up here for the upper part of my chest, and then the other one is going to be lower. Switch over. Okay. So for this one, it's going to stretch a little bit more lower muscles for your lower pectoral muscles. Switch over. Okay, gonna move on to my other two stretches, which is also going to be for the upper pectoral and the lower pectoral area. So this one, just gonna grab onto the side of my Bowflex here, push up, and look up like this. That's gonna stretch this upper pectoral muscle along with your shoulders and rotator cuffs and tricep. And switch, other side. Okay. Now this one is basically the same thing except for you're trying to press down. So this is going to also stretch the lower and upper and mid. So that's going to stretch a little bit more, along with your shoulder and your rotator cuff and your back. Switch over again. You want to kind of press down while you're doing this, so that way you feel all your muscles stretching and engaging. There we go. I'm going to do one more stretch and then we'll get going. Alright. Overhead. Pull down your elbow behind your head. And as you can tell, it's stretching my back, my shoulders, my tricep, and my lats as well. Down. That's it for the stretching part. Let's get moved on to the setup part. Alright everybody, so here's the setup for the decline and incline chest press along with the decline and incline cable flies. So first of all, for this Bowflex specifically, there's this little pin that you can pull, and then the seat comes forward like that. And then kind of just clamps in there, and it comes in at an angle. Okay, next step, grab your handles, clip them inside of the clip there. So just so everybody sees, it's right in there. Choose your weight, specifically a weight that you can handle. I'm going to go ahead and choose my weight real quick. Other side. there you go. So now we're going to start with decline, obviously. I'll go decline press and then decline flies after that. And since this is the same setup for incline press and incline flies as well, we're also going to add that in there. So that's all going to be in the same video just because it's the same setup as it would be for decline or incline. So first, when you come to the bench, make sure you're looking straight forward. Grab your handles. Now for decline, you want to go down and together like that. If you don't feel it in your lower pectorals, what you can do is scoot up on the bench a little bit and make sure that you're looking down, so that way you can actually look at the motion coming down. There's that. Okay, so now for proper breathing. For this one, when you press down, you want to breathe out and then in for up. Okay, so just so everybody knows, I'm going to show improper form first and then proper form. Now, I'm sure everybody knows what improper means, meaning when you're shaking or when you're going too down or too far up or like this, or even side motions like this. Some people do. Some people lift it like that. That's not the correct form. What you want is to look straight down and press straight forward like that. Straight down forward. Okay, there we go. Gonna do a couple more perfect forms and then we'll fast forward the video. And fast forward. Alright, there we go. So now, going to decline cable flies. So, see how my hands were straight forward with my fingertips facing downward, and for this one, you're going to want your fingertips facing in a hammer fist type position. Okay, so like that. Then for this one, when you come in, instead of pressing straight down like this, you're going to come straight in, just like this, all the way toward your lower part of your legs. So you kind of want to come in like you're hugging a barrel, but lower. Okay. Now, so first, like I said, like last time, we're going to go over improper form and then proper form. So this is the improper way to do it. Some people do this where they kind of lean forward and go. Some people will go something like this where they're uneven, like that. And I've also seen this happen too, where people actually come up like this and do it that way. That's not right. What you want is straight down and together and together. Now the way to breathe for this is when you go forward, you go out and in for up. Okay, a couple more reps and then we'll fast forward. And fast forward. go. Shake out your arms a little bit. We're going to move on to incline press and incline cable flies. Hey guys, moving on to incline press and incline cable flies. So when you set up for this, sit down the same way, kind of pull your back a little bit so my back is forward like that. You'll see my stomach just sticking out a little bit. Grab your handles, and me personally, I like to place the handles the other way, so I'll do that again just so you guys can see. So my hand was this way, and then I just switched it over to the back. I feel like that gives me better resistance for incline. Alright. Now, so for incline presses, you're going to come straight up and together, just like that. Straight up and together. Okay. Alright, now for proper form. First, I'm going to show you some improper form that I've seen people do, and then I'm going to show you some proper form. Alright, so here's the improper form that I've seen for certain people. Some people will actually lift their butt up and try to press it, or even unevenly pressing it like this, or even this, where someone tries to push the other side off like that, but at the same time like this. That's improper. And I'll show you one more that I've seen. One more that I've seen is where they actually go too far back, like this, to their head. That's improper. That's wrong. So this one, how you want to do it is at the same time, press together. Nice and simple, nice and slow. There we go. Up and down. Now time for some proper breathing. So for this exercise, whenever you press up, you want to breathe out. Whenever you go down, breathe in. I'm going to do a couple more reps, then we'll fast forward it. And fast forward. And down. Alright, good. So now from here, we're going to switch to incline cable flies. Sorry about that. Got mixed up in my words a little bit. Breathe in. And see how my hands are now facing in a hammer fist type position. My fingers are facing toward me instead of this way. So I'll do that one more time. Okay. Next one is to bring them in like you're hugging a barrel, but above you and down. Again. And down. Okay, so proper form for this. First, improper form. We're going to go ahead and do some improper form. I've seen people do same stuff like this. Same thing like this, too high. Same thing like this. And for proper form, what you want is look straight up, get your hands up at the exact same time, and together. Keep them as even as you possibly can, It engages the muscle group a lot better. Proper breathing. So when I come up, I'm going to breathe out. Come down, breathe in. Couple more reps and we'll fast forward. Fast forward. And end. Lean forward. Do whatever you need to do. Move around. And we're moving on to muscle groups now. Alright, everybody. We're at our muscle explanation for what these exercises work on. I'll first start with our decline presses and decline flies. For the decline flies, it works the lower pectoral muscle and also your rotator cuffs and your delts. A little bit of impact on the biceps, some impact on the back of the wrist, and then there is some engagement in the middle part of your pectorals, but not much. The upper part, very minuscule, very minor amount of impact for that muscle group as well. And then we're going to move on over to the back muscles. And then triceps and the front of your wrist. Okay, so for triceps, for decline presses and decline flies, it is going to work them just a little bit. For the actual presses, the triceps are going to be worked a little bit more than the actual fly part. So when you come into presses and flies, those are going to be two completely different levels of working the triceps. So the presses would be more working the triceps than the actual flies, and the same difference goes for the biceps. So the biceps will be incorporated more for the flies rather than the triceps, and then the biceps will be incorporated less for the actual presses. Now for the back of the wrists and the front of the wrists, those are going to be incorporated the same way. So for the presses, the front of your wrists are going to be using more than the back of the wrists. And then for the flies, the back of your wrists will be used more than the front of your wrists. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and move on to incline presses and incline flies. Alright, you guys, moving on to incline presses and incline flies. So for incline presses, obviously for incline presses and incline flies, the upper pectoral muscle is going to be involved a whole lot in this process. The mid pectoral muscle is going to have a very mild part in this working together, and then the very lower one is going to be very minor help down there. So for both the incline presses and incline flies, they're both going to be working the rotator cuff muscles and the shoulder muscles as well. Going into the actual which one works more than the other. So incline presses would actually be working more of the triceps, rather than the biceps. Biceps would be a little bit less engaged for the presses, and the triceps would be a little bit more engaged. That's the exact same thing, exact opposite thing for the biceps to triceps for the flies for incline. So the biceps will be activated more than the triceps for the fly area, and then the same thing for the back of the wrists. For the flies, they would be activated more. For the back of the wrists, the presses, the incline presses would be activated more. For the back of the wrists, the exact opposite. So for the flies, would be activated more for the back of the wrist and less for the inner of the wrist. And then we're going to move on up to here, to the back area, where your back is incorporated for this exercise as well, your entire back area. And if you feel it just a tiny bit in your trapezius area, that's fine. That doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. It just means that your trapeziuses are engaging just a tiny bit in that exercise. It's normal. So if you feel that just to a minor extent, that's fine. But if you feel it too much, then obviously you're doing too much traps in this exercise. And then for your entire back area, and this lower part area and this upper part area, that will be working as well in consistency with all that other stuff. That has been my explanation for all the muscle groups that these 4 exercises work. I appreciate you guys listening to it. Let's get going. Is this the right way to sit on this thing? Nah, it's not. Just kidding. Anyway, thank you guys for watching my how-to video on how to set up your Bowflex for decline and incline press, and also decline and incline cable flies. Hopefully you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed making this video. Please like, subscribe, and if you have any questions or anything else you would like us to add to any of the videos, please comment below. And as always, unleash your inner bull.